The 1964D Jefferson nickel is one of the most talked about coins from the United States, especially because some people have heard that one of these nickels sold for $32,900. That is a very large amount of money for a 5-cent coin, so it makes people curious. Is that true? Can a 1964D nickel really be worth that much? Or is it just a regular coin worth only 5 cents? Let's talk about what makes this coin interesting, why most of them are not valuable, and what special things can make a few worth thousands of dollars. We will go through everything in simple words so that everyone can understand clearly. The Jefferson nickel is a coin that has been made in the United States since 1938. It shows a picture of Thomas Jefferson on the front side, which is called the obverse. On the back side, called the reverse, there is a picture of Jefferson's house, which is named Monticello. The coin says, United States of America, e pluribus unum, and 5 cents. The 1964D nickel has a small letter, D, on the right side of Monticello. That letter tells us that this coin was made at the Denver Mint. The Denver Mint made a very large number of these coins, more than 1.7 billion of them. That is one of the biggest mintages ever for a Jefferson nickel. Because so many were made, it means most of them are very common. Millions and millions are still around today. In 1964, there was a coin shortage in the United States, and the government wanted to make sure that people had enough coins to use in daily life. For that reason, the Mint produced a lot of coins that year. They even stopped making proof coins for collectors so that they could focus on making more coins for circulation. So, if you find a 1964D nickel in your change, that is normal. It was made to be used, not saved as a rare coin. Most of these coins have been in circulation for a long time, so they show signs of wear. You might see scratches, dull color, or smooth areas where the details have been rubbed off. Those are all signs of use. Coins like that are called circulated coins. A circulated 1964D nickel is usually worth its face value of 5 cents, or maybe a few cents more to a collector who needs one in a set. But that's all. Now, even though most 1964D nickels are common, there are a few special ones that can be worth much more. The big reason some coins are valuable is their condition. Condition means how well the coin has been preserved since it was made. Coins that have never been used and still look shiny are called uncirculated coins. These are worth more because they show all the details clearly. The very best examples are graded by professional coin grading companies like PCGS Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC Numismatic Guarantee Company. These companies check the coin under magnification and give it a grade on a scale from 1 to 70. A perfect coin with no marks would be graded MS70, which stands for Mint State 70. Most uncirculated coins fall between MS60 and MS67. One special thing about Jefferson nickels is that collectors look closely at the steps on Monticello, which is shown on the back of the coin. There are 6 steps that lead up to the building. When a coin is struck perfectly and shows all 6 steps clearly, it is called a full steps coin. Collectors love full steps nickels because they are much harder to find. The dies that struck the coins often wore down quickly, so most 1964D nickels have weak or blurry steps. A coin that has full steps, you can clearly see at least 5 or 6 separate lines, will get a special label that says FS, after the grade. For example, a coin might be graded MS66FS, which means it is in Mint State 66 with full steps. These coins are rare, especially for 1964D nickels, and they can sell for thousands of dollars. That is one reason a 1964D nickel can be worth a lot of money. But not every uncirculated coin is valuable. Only the best, sharpest, and cleanest coins with full steps get that kind of high value. For example, a normal uncirculated 1964D nickel without full steps might sell for about $2 to $10, depending on how nice it looks. If it has full steps and a high grade like MS65FS, it might be worth around $600 or $800. If it is MS66FS or better, it can go into the thousands. One example of a 1964D nickel in perfect condition with full steps has sold for about $32,900. That is where the big number comes from. But remember, that coin was one of the very best known, graded by professionals, and confirmed to have perfect details. It is extremely rare, maybe one out of many millions. Another reason a 1964D nickel might be worth more is because of an error. A minting error happens when something goes wrong while the coin is being made. For example, sometimes the die that stamps the design might hit the coin twice by mistake. That makes a doubled image, and it is called a double die error. If you see that the letters or numbers on the coin look like they have shadows or are doubled, that could be an error coin. There are also other kinds of errors, like repunched mint marks, where the letter D was punched more than once and looks doubled. These small errors can add value, but only if they are clear and verified by experts. Some double-die 1964D nickels have sold for hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on how strong the doubling is. Other errors can include off-center strikes, where the design is not centered on the coin, or clipped planchets, where a piece of the coin is missing from the edge. Sometimes a coin can even be struck on the wrong kind of metal blank, though that is very rare for this year. Any of these unusual errors can make a coin more interesting to collectors. However, you should always make sure an error is real and not just damage from circulation. Many people think their coins are errors when they are just scratched or bent. Real mint errors need to be confirmed by grading companies or trusted coin experts. Another special thing about 1964 nickels is that a few coins were made with a very nice finish, called Special Mint Set, or SMS. Normally, there were no special mint sets made in 1964 because the mint stopped making proof coins that year. But a few test coins or special strikes are known to exist, and they look much better than normal coins. They have a satin-like finish and very sharp details. These coins are extremely rare, and they are the ones that can sell for tens of thousands of dollars. A 1964 special mint set nickel-graded MS67 with full steps is the kind of coin that can bring $32,900 or even more at an auction. These coins were not made for circulation, and they are believed to have been test pieces or special presentation coins. If you found one of those, you would have a real treasure. So when people say a 1964D nickel is worth $32,900, they are talking about one of these rare, perfect coins, not an ordinary one from pocket change. For most people, the nickel in a drawer or piggy bank will be worth only 5 cents, maybe a few dollars if it is uncirculated. But that does not mean it is not interesting. Collecting coins is about learning history and paying attention to small details. Even a common coin can teach you something about how coins are made and how they change over time. If you have a 1964D nickel and you want to see if it might be valuable, start by looking at its condition. Hold it under a light and see how shiny it is. If it looks dull or worn, it has probably been circulated and will not be worth much. If it looks bright and has all the details visible, it might be uncirculated. Next, look closely at the steps on Monticello. Use a magnifying glass if you can. If you can see 5 or 6 clear, separate steps, that is a good sign. Check for any doubling in the letters or numbers, or anything strange about the mint mark. Finally, if you think the coin looks perfect, you can consider sending it to a grading company. They will give it an official grade, and if it qualifies as a full steps coin or has an error, they will label it that way. Coins that are professionally graded are easier to sell and can bring higher prices. One thing you should be careful about is online listings or videos that say every 1964D nickel is worth thousands of dollars. Many of those claims are not true. People sometimes list common coins for very high prices on auction sites, but that does not mean anyone actually buys them. The real value comes from verified sales, not from asking prices. You can look up real auction results on sites like Heritage Auctions or PCGS to see what coins have really sold for. That will give you a more honest idea of what your coin might be worth. It is also important to know that the 1964D nickel does not contain any silver. Some people think that coins from before 1965 are silver, but that is not true for nickels. The only Jefferson nickels that contain silver are the war nickels, made between 1942 and 1945, which have a large mint mark above Monticello. The 1964D nickel is made mostly of copper and nickel, and its metal value is basically the same as its face value. The only reason it could be worth more is because of its rarity, condition, or errors, not because of the metal. To sum it all up, most 1964D JeffersonNickels are common coins that you can find in your change. They are made of copper and nickel, not silver, and they usually are worth just 5 cents. However, there are a few special ones that can be worth a lot more. A perfect uncirculated coin with full steps can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. A rare special mint set coin can be worth tens of thousands, and the very best known example has sold for about $32,900. But finding one like that is extremely rare, almost like winning a small lottery. If you think you have a special one, take clear photos and compare your coin with pictures of graded examples on trusted coin websites. You can also visit a local coin shop or coin show to ask for opinions from experienced collectors. They can help you decide if your coin is worth grading. Even if your coin turns out to be common, you still have a piece of history in your hand. The 1964D nickel marks the end of an era when the mint was changing how it made coins and trying to solve a national coin shortage. It is a fun coin to study and collect because there are so many small differences and varieties to look for. So yes, a 1964D Jefferson nickel can be worth $32,900, but only if it is in absolutely perfect condition with full steps, graded by professionals, and possibly from a rare special mint set. Most coins will not be worth that much, and that's okay. The fun of coin collecting is in the search, the learning, and the excitement of finding something unexpected. Always check your coins carefully, stay curious, and use trustworthy sources to learn what they are really worth.